Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. Today, we've got an exciting lineup of topics that intersect technology, social media, and employment trends in the AI era. We're diving into the revival of Vine with the new app Divine, the unique Chad, the Brainrot IDE from Y Combinator, and the recent layoffs at Deepwatch. Let's kick things off with Divine. It seems that Jack Dorsey is trying to bring back the Vine spirit. What do you think about this revival?
It's fascinating, isn't it? Vine was such a cultural phenomenon during its time. It shaped a whole generation of creators and brought us iconic memes and trends. The new app, Divine, seems to be tapping into that nostalgia while also aiming to create a platform where authenticity reigns supreme. But I wonder, can it really recapture that magic?
That's the million-dollar question. The original Vine thrived on its short, engaging content, which encouraged creativity within constraints. Divine appears to be focusing on that same ethos. But how do you see authenticity playing out in a landscape dominated by polished content on platforms like TikTok and Instagram?
Great point. Authenticity is a double-edged sword in social media. On one hand, users are craving genuine moments, especially after being bombarded with polished and curated content. Divine's potential lies in its ability to foster a space where users can share more spontaneous, unfiltered moments. On the other hand, the challenge will be whether it can draw creators who are used to the monetized high production value world of TikTok.
Exactly. It'll be interesting to see if Divine can offer creators a viable alternative that still allows them to earn a living. Speaking of content creation, let's transition to the quirky launch of Chad, the Brainrot IDE from Y Combinator. This one has sparked quite a bit of intrigue, hasn't it?
Absolutely. The whole concept of an IDE designed specifically for brainrot programming is both amusing and a little concerning. The term itself suggests a somewhat chaotic approach to coding, which can be a departure from traditional development environments that emphasize structure and best practices.
Right. It seems to be embracing the chaotic nature of creativity in programming. Do you think this could empower a new wave of developers who might feel intimidated by more complex IDEs?
I think it absolutely could. By lowering the barrier to entry, Chad might encourage more people to dive into programming without the fear of making mistakes. It's almost like saying, hey, it's okay to mess up, that's part of the learning process. However, I wonder whether this could lead to a generation of developers who lack the fundamental skills needed for more serious projects.
That's a valid concern. It's a balancing act. While embracing creativity is important, there's still value in foundational programming practices. Do you think there's a place for both types of IDEs in the developer ecosystem?
Definitely. There's room for all sorts of approaches. Some developers thrive in a structured environment, while others flourish in a more free-form space. It's important to have diverse tools available that cater to different styles of learning and creativity. I can see Chad being a great supplementary tool, especially for brainstorming and rapid prototyping.
Well put. Now let's pivot to the recent layoffs at Deepwatch. This news has sent ripples through the tech community, especially as the company shifts its focus toward AI investment. What's your take on this trend of layoffs as companies pivot towards AI?
It's a troubling trend, to say the least. Companies are often quick to adjust their workforce in response to shifting priorities, and AI has become a buzzword that's hard to ignore. It's almost like we're in an arms race for AI talent. But what about the employees who are getting laid off? It raises ethical questions about job security in tech.
Exactly. The rapid shift towards AI does leave many employees in a precarious position. It seems like we're at a crossroads where companies must innovate or risk falling behind. But at what cost? Do you think organizations need to invest more in reskilling their workforce rather than just cutting jobs?
Yes, reskilling is crucial. As AI continues to develop, there will be new roles that emerge. Companies should take the initiative to upskill their existing employees rather than just seeing them as expendable. This could foster loyalty and a more engaged workforce. Plus, it allows for a smoother transition as the tech landscape evolves.
That's a great perspective. It's a tough situation, but fostering a culture of continuous learning could help mitigate some of the risks associated with these rapid changes. Do you think we'll see more companies adopting this approach in the future?
I hope so. There's a growing recognition that investing in human capital is just as important as investing in technology. Companies that embrace a learning culture will likely be more resilient in the face of change. Plus, it can also enhance the company's reputation, making it an attractive place for talent in the long run.
Absolutely. It seems like a win-win situation. Well, it looks like we've covered a lot of ground today, from the revival of Vine to the quirky IDE and the layoffs at Deepwatch. There's a lot happening at the intersection of technology and employment, and it's an exciting time to be following these trends.
For sure. It'll be interesting to see how these developments unfold and what they mean for the future of social media, programming, and the job market. I look forward to discussing these topics further in our next episode.
Agreed. Thanks for joining us today, and thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Until next time, keep questioning, keep learning, and stay curious.